Alright guys, so here we are with the Spriggan Enchanter. This is Dungeon Crawl 11, or version 11 I should say. And the point of this guide is not to be a let's play or just a character guide. I want to try and make this really a general play mechanics guide. Because when I started out there was nothing really for that. There was no video at least. I mean there was a long list of ideas and hints and tips and stuff like that, but no one made a video. So I want this to be a guide for beginners. And like you've played the tutorial, you've tried the game, and you just you can't really get much better because you just keep dying and you're not sure what's going on. The best advice I was given is just keep trying, but a lot of people are just like I'm not progressing and they just want to quit, which is I can understand that, and that's why I'm making this guide. So I'm going to try and get us to the Lair, which is a really big deal for new players. And every action I take that I consciously do, I'll try and break it down, tell you why I did it, give you my keystrokes and my methods. So the reason I picked Spriggan Enchanter is they can just breeze through the early game. I mean, a lot of it they can literally kill things in one hit, and they can get around tough monsters without having to fight them, or if they get in trouble they can just run away because they're so ridiculously fast. But what we're gonna have to do when we start is we're gonna push the M button and bring up the skill list. As you can see, we have like a couple skills currently getting experience, and you can tell that by like the percent number. That's the percent of the experience they're currently getting. But to start, we really want to get stabbing to 6, because that's what's going to allow us to heal things in one hit. So we're going to double click anything that's white and turn it off. And you'll notice that the percents of other skills are going up as we're removing the skills that we're getting the experience. Now you should also notice that like these little plus signs, that means these skills would get experience if you did something that utilized that skill. So we're going to turn off all the plus sign skills as well. We're leaving us with just stabbing on at 100%. Now our first goal is going to be to get stabbing to level 6. So until then we're just going to try and clear level 1 of the dungeon. I'm going to start by cautiously opening the door and looking around. Okay, so we have a goblin. They're not too big of a deal. They might be able to kill us at level 1, so we're going to have to try and fight him and see how it goes. Yeah, immediately he takes a third of our life, but we only have 6 health, so let's just try and fight him. And yeah, it looks like we're gonna win the fight. Now, one of the big things you want to do in Crawl is constantly keep your life at max if you can. So we're gonna hit 5 at the top of your keyboard, not at the number pad. The number pad is what you should be using to move. 4 to go left, 6 to go right. Like I said, you should have played the tutorial before playing this, so I'm not gonna cover basic movement. Alright, so we've cleared the initial area. There's some chainmail here, but I'm a Spriggan. Spriggans can only use rogues because they're tiny creatures, unfortunately. But that does give us a lot of benefits too. We can dodge better, we can, move faster, stuff like that. But I'm going to go ahead and just auto-explore this floor because most of the time there's nothing too significant here. We push the O button and he'll go on his way until he finds an item, in this case those bolts, or a monster. So just keep hitting auto-explore whenever he stops and it's just an item. When it's a monster, we'll deal with it accordingly. So that's a bat and a goblin. Obviously the two weakest monsters in the game, but even then at level 1 can be scary, so I'm going to try and pull them back into the hallway, and this is always going to be viable the entire game. Never try and fight things in bigger numbers than you have to, so just kill them one by one, and there you go. Didn't even take a hit. They probably would have mopped the floor with us had we let them all gang up at once, though. Let's pick up the potions and keep auto-exploring. Another rat. Auto-explore. A bat. A hat. cat. There's very rarely anything of significance on floor 1 as far as enemies go. You'll find some cockroaches and some goblins and stuff like that, but nothing too scary. On occasion you can run into someone who has an enchanted weapon on floor 1, and most of the time it just ends your run, like that's it, you're done. But sometimes, you know, you can manage to fight them if they're one of the last things you run into or whatever. So floor 1 should be highly uneventful, and even the worst of players should be able to do it as long as they, you know, heal up after every major fight and pull things into corners and hallways and whatnot. Just keep auto-exploring. We're just gonna pick up every item we can. I did pick up a ring earlier, and I don't know why I didn't try it on, but I might as well. It's not cursed, which means it's very unlikely that it's a bad ring. It's, however, not anything that's immediately obvious, so it's probably a protection of some sort. Poison, fire, ice, those are the big ones that it could be. It could also be resist negative damage, like necrotic and stuff. That's helpful too, but we don't know which one it is, and it doesn't really matter at this point. We'll just leave it on there. We'll either figure it out or we'll identify it later. So again, big group of monsters, just pull them into a hallway and fight them one by one. You know, I don't know why, but I love when I reach level 3 on floor 1. It's I guess it's just personally something I really like, because there's nothing that really states that, you know, you have to get level 3 on floor 1. Most of the time I don't, but I just really enjoy that. It makes me feel like I'm off to a great start. So we've explored all of floor 1. We're going to move on to floor 2, but before we do, I want to learn a new spell. I'm going to click the spellbook, and the one at the top, Enscrolled Hibernation. You can either do this with shortcuts by pushing A, and then it'll ask you, do you want to learn this, or it'll say, memorize Enscrolled Hibernation, consuming 2 spell levels, leaving you with 1, question mark. Why, yes, with a capital Y, I would like to memorize that spell. The other option is, you know, you click on the spell book, you click on the spell, and it'll do the exact same thing. So this spell is really cool. We're going to push M real quick and turn off Ice Magic. We can see that stabbing's up to 4, we wanted to get to 6, remember? But this spell, I love this spell. It can put people to sleep by forcing them to go into hibernation. And monsters that are asleep, we get a huge bonus to kill or attacking, because we're stabbing them in the back. Like, that's the point of the stabbing skill. It's something like 15 times damage. No, maybe not that much. Maybe 10 times damage. But either way, most of the game we should be able to kill things in literally one hit when they're asleep, and now we can put them to sleep. So it works out really well. Even though I learned that spell, I'm not going to be using it very much yet, because spells generate, well, they take away food, they make you hungry. And again, from the tutorial, you should remember that if you get too hungry, you will die. So if we right-click the spell, we can see that it's generating 3 little notches of hunger every time we use it. Right now I'm using it just as an emergency button, or like snakes. I hate fighting those because they can poison you and kill you, so I'll use it anytime I see one of them. Hopefully successfully. There we go. He's asleep. Stab him. Dead. Done with. I'm obviously going to have to heal up. But it's basically our get out of jail free card right now. Once my stabbing's to 6, I'm going to work on spell casting and get that to 6, and then I will literally just use that spell for every monster. And as you can see, I'm doing it kind of unconsciously right now. I just see the monster, I'm like, oh yeah, I can make that guy hibernate, which will starve me to death if I'm not careful. Oh cool, a yellow hat. That's just what I always wanted. Spriggans can't use much armor. They can use robes, hats, and I think that's it. Oh, capes, cloaks. So even just a really ugly yellow hat is a good item for a Spriggan. It'll give us a little more armor. As you can see, it gives us a whole 3 armor now. That's like 1 piece of armor for a warrior. So that potion is completely surrounded by teleportation traps, I bet. That's annoying. Worst part is it's probably like a super insignificant potion, but it's gonna drive me crazy now. Like, what if that was good? What if that was like a potion of experience and I could be level 15, like right now? I don't think it would give me level 15, but like, it would give me a couple significant level ups and it would make spellcasting at like 10 right now. It'd be awesome. I'm still just auto-exploring, by the way, and getting teleported, which is annoying. So I just clicked on the minimap over here to make my character automatically go over there, and then it said, oh, you have to go through Dungeon 1 to get there. Do you still want to do it? Capital Y, or just Y in this case. Yes, I do. If I keep auto-exploring, he will hit that 4th teleportation trap, guaranteed, because he will try and get to that potion no matter what. But I'm too lazy to explore on my own, so we'll just do it. Look, jackals. I'm not sure if I will, but I have an older version of this video that I did on version 10, and if you watch that version, the jackals just look ridiculous. Like, I don't know why it took them so long to give an actual good animation for them, but they look much better. The game in general looks much better. They did a lot of good work with this patch. I honestly wasn't torn on whether to do a new version of the video or not, but it seems like a big enough patch that I should. They took out some not so good items and they made some of the other not so good items better, and it runs a little smoother, and I like it. I like the patch. Nothing too big. It's not like when they removed dwarves from the game. That was kind of iffy. Onward to floor 3. Let's check on stabbing. Oh, it's really close. We're about to start learning spellcasting. Look, shoes that are way too big for us because we're tiny. Another thing that I can't stress enough for new players is, like, you don't know about auto explore and you're just like, wow, every floor takes like 30 minutes. So just if that's all you got from my video and you go and play again, that's probably worth it. I hope you get more. I hope you like watch the video and you're like, wow, this guy is throwing me some big ideas. I wish this video was as good as my other one. Like, I watched that one and I'm like, wow, he's playing really well. And by he, I mean me of the past. Ooh, Terrence. So if we right click him, we can get like a little backstory. A violent murderer who kills for both pleasure and profit. Terrence has been forced into hiding after a botched job and can't really afford to risk letting anyone who has seen him leave the dungeon alive. There's a price on his head after all. Honestly, he could probably just do nothing and I wouldn't leave the dungeon alive. The failure rate is just astronomical. Well, he gave us enough experience to get stabbing 6, so good turn on stabbing, turn on spellcasting, just like that, and we're gonna get spellcasting 6 now. Terrence can drop good items if you're someone who uses armor, or well, he never really has a magical flail, but he can have pretty good armor. So, you know, if you're not playing a Spriggan Enchanter, could have got some armor there, I guess. Though, yeah, hey, no. Oh, curse ring. Okay, guys, I'm gonna do something that I normally don't do. It's Shift C to close doors, by the way, capital C. I'm going to close these doors just to try and give myself a little bit of a safer area to work in. But what I'm about to do, well, also I'm near starving now, which means I should drink that starting item, the Potion of Portage. back to full. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my scrolls. This can be incredibly dangerous if you do it in areas where you're not sure you're safe. I really want to get that disenchanted though, so let's just hope that I hit a disenchant early, or I don't hit a scroll that can kill me. Or I can disenchant on the first scroll. There we go. Or remove curse, I should say. That was really uneventful. Oh! A branch! So... God, it's on one of the corners, I think. There. Okay, so that's an optional side branch. It's the sewers. And side branches have basically themed feels to them. So like I'm gonna go in the sewer and it's just gonna be a bunch of animals you can find in the sewer, rats and stuff like that, and a lot of sewer gross water. And they randomly appear, and they have like timed portals. Like if I sat and just looked at the little sewer grate too long, it would disappear. They have, I'm not gonna say special loot, but they have kind of better loot than most areas. Like I'm almost certain to get a couple potions of levitation. That guy's in here a lot, Pergy. There's a much higher rate of finding him in here than other places. He is a sickly troll, but he's still incredibly dangerous. I want to find somewhere where I can fight him by himself, otherwise I will die. Which looks like could happen anyway, and then I'll have to start a new video and I'll be very upset. Whew, that was close, guys. I can't emphasize that enough. The snake was poisoning me down, Pergy was following me, I was scared. Gave me 2 levels of spellcasting though. Seems pretty good. Let's see if the poison kills me. Just get hit 5. Oh man, I don't want to die by poison. Let's just try it. Okay, I'm gonna have to drink some potions. Healing potions usually appear in much greater number than any other potions in the game, so I'm gonna take a bet that this murky green potion is healing. Oh, it's invisibility. Let's drink the ones that are 2s. Agility. Speed. What the? Potion of degeneration? These are some really bad potions. Silvery potion. There's a potion of paralysis. That's even better, guys. Blue potion? Well, got rid of the degeneration effect. Brown potion? Brilliance? Again, this is incredibly dangerous. I never recommend doing this. Unless you just... Oh, well, I just killed myself, I think. Oh, guys, the last potion was the potion of curing! Oh, how lucky is that? After I just drank a potion of poison. Man, that is super lucky. So that's another thing about Crawl. Like, I can make you a perfect guide, and you could follow it perfectly. You could be the best student on the planet, and you still might just die. Like, there's no accounting for the randomness of roguelike, and that's part of the reason I like it. That was crazy. So like I said, there was some potions at the end of the branch and some shiny armor. I might as well just drink these potions. I've already pretty much broken my rule, right? Oh look, I'm levitating. Let's go over here and see if there's anything. There's sometimes... No, I don't think there's going to be. There's sometimes extra stuff on the side of the sewers map. That was really lucky. Well, that was the sewers. My first video had no branch dungeons, which I actually liked. I thought that was kind of cool that you had like a really generic guide, but it's cool that we're getting branch dungeons too. You're more likely to find at least one branch on your playthrough than none at all. Oh, Sigmund. So this guy is statistically the most dangerous monster in the game. He's killed more people than anyone else. Obviously he's an early dungeon monster, but he's just really fatal for the point where he appears. So I kind of want to get him off on his own, or close to. I'm hoping that he'll just fall asleep. Again, that's the beauty of playing a Spriggan Enchanter. We just have that emergency button, and it can deal with big threats really easily. That's cool. Just gotta go to the exit, head on down to floor 4. Did I? Oh man, I think I forgot to tell you how to cast spells again. I did that last video too. To actually cast a spell, you hit the Z button. Well, you can just click on it. Or you hit the Z button and then the shortcut. And this is A, B, C, D, E, so on and so forth. And you target the creature and hit enter. I can't believe I did that again. I did. Ooh, that's so lucky. Prince Ribbit is like, he's not super duper dangerous, but he does a lot of damage for this point in the game. He's just a slightly stronger version of a Blink Frog, and later they literally come in packs of like 6 and you can just slaughter them. But fighting him asleep like that, that's just free experience. Look at that, spellcasting to 6. Almost 7. I'm actually just gonna round it off right here. Just get it to 7 and then start on the other stuff. So why not? While I'm thinking about spellcasting, I'm actually going to learn another spell. I'm going to learn Confuse. The reason I need Confuse is you can't put undead monsters to sleep within Scrolled Hibernation. So you have to confuse them and then stab them. It doesn't give you as much of a damage bonus as putting them to sleep, but still a really significant one. And yep. So I'm going to turn off spellcasting now, turn on dodging, hexes, stealth, and I'm gonna double click stealth to make it like glow, because stealth gets a really low ratio most of the time, so that'll even it out and make it level up at about the same pace as the other 2 skills. And we're going to get those to 6 now as well, and then we'll level up stabbing some more. And of course I'll explain that as we go. By the way, we can freebie cast this now, no hunger cost, so just go crazy with it. An ogre and a phantom, I should say. The phantoms are mostly just annoying. The ogre, though, can do a ton of damage. So we're gonna have to try and put him to sleep, and he just dies. I like how every time that I'm doing this in a video, I'm like, oh, they're so powerful, be careful, guys, and then they just die. Again, that's the point of this build, though, so no surprise. Phantoms are undead. It's dangerous. It looks dangerous. Immune to poison, very resistant to cold, somewhat resistant to hostile enchantments. All that really boils down to is confuse him and then stab him. He's not going to make it easy, as you can see. He's going to make it as difficult as possible. You have to chase him around, confuse him like 4 times. It took 2 stabs, it just took like 6 confuses. I hate those guys. I don't hate them as much as imps. Imps are just ridiculously annoying. We'll cover that when we get to them, of course. All these early monsters, and there's no real advice for. It's just these run in and stab them and hope they don't kill you kind of. Okay, hallway. See, that's what I mean. Just 3 basic enemies can kill you if you're not careful. That's kind of the safe word of Crawl. The overall advice I can give you is always be careful. Even if you're like, oh, I'm so powerful right now, I can just plow through these guys. Don't do it. Just play it safe and fight them smart. Just always try and be smart. I guess smart's not even the right word either. Be cautious. The more cautious you are, the better off you are in Crawl. There's no harm in using a wiki if you run into a monster you've never seen. Like, the best players use wikis. The best players, in fact, make the wikis and argue with each other about who's right and like the best strategies and stuff all the time. So just always try and be as informed as possible. The only dumb mistake in Crawl is a mistake that you could have or should have known better. If you walk into a room and it turns out there's more monsters than you saw, that's not your fault. You could have assumed that they were there, but you didn't know. If you die to like one monster that you've never seen before though, and you could have gone to the wiki and been like, oh, that monster, he can one-shot people even if they're super strong, then that's your fault. You know, you could have prepared better. But the entire idea of a roguelike though, I guess, in the same sense, is that you're not always prepared. Sometimes you're going to get the monster that you've just never seen and he's gonna kill you. It's happened to me. I have 1,000+ deaths and I am better for almost all of them. Some of them have been really stupid lessons, like one of them was, I didn't even cover this in my video actually, so I guess I'll give you this little gem of wisdom. I started in a room completely surrounded by water, one exit. I get to the exit and there's a newt standing there and I'm like, okay, I can take a newt. I can totally beat a newt. Yeah, the newt beat me down. If you're standing in water, you get a really bad negative to melee fighting. So he just beat me down because I was standing in water. That was a lesson, you know. Use water to your advantage and don't try and fight in it. It's just no bueno. Every turn you're in sight of a monster who's sleeping, they have a chance of waking up. So like that phantom over there who's asleep, he will not wake up because he can't see me right now. So as long as he can't see me and I don't make loud noises, he won't wake up. So I'm trying to find a better way to get to him. And it looks like, okay, let's see here. Probably can see me from there, so 1, 2, 3, 4 turns, and then a 5th to stab him, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th to stab him, it doesn't matter. Yeah, he woke up. Just try and take the shortest route possible to monsters to stab them. That's basically what that comes down to. Later on, you'll have all sorts of bonuses to being stealthy though. Like if you're flying, or you're invisible, or stuff like that. Not much of that will get covered in this part of the guide. I might make a part 2. We'll see how it goes. Honestly, I'm not even sure I'm gonna make it to the lair. That'd be it. Well, we'll just assume I'm gonna make it. Of course I'm gonna make it. I'm the guide maker. Guide maker always makes to where he's making the guide to, because if he doesn't, he'll just shut down and try again. Right? That's the temple. This is our first stop on our way to the lair. This is our first, we know it's safe for sure area. We can auto-explore it, and you will not see a single monster or a single item. You'll just see a bunch of shrines to gods. Wow. So to look around the map like I am right now, you just right-click and hold. But what I'm looking for, and I'm right, there's no shrine to my god. That's interesting. That's okay then. We'll just, this is where I normally use all my scrolls and potions. I had to use the potions way early. The scrolls, only one of them got used. That's okay. Oh, see, this is why. Scroll of Noise. It wakes up all the monsters on the floor, and they, like, actively look for you. So, that's why we do this here. Okay, there's only 3 scrolls in the game that target. One of them enchants armor, one of them identifies items, and one of them recharges wands. We have no wands. We have armor that's only at all our armor's identified already. And we have literally no item to like hedge our bets basically. If I have a wand, I always do it on the wand because it's either going to get identified, it's either gonna say the wand was recharged, or it's gonna say it doesn't work. And no matter what, you know what the scroll is then, because if it gets identified, it's a scroll of identity. If it gets recharged, it's a scroll of recharging. If it doesn't work, it'll say, you know, it doesn't work, and then you know it's enchant armor, but the next time you pick up that scroll, it'll say, like, tried on wand. And you can be like, oh, that's the enchant armor scroll I tried. So I guess right now we... Okay, scrolls of identify are really common. There was only one of the scrolls, so we're gonna try it on the cap. Nothing happens. We don't know what it was. Probably recharging. That would be my guess. Scroll of cursed jewelry, worthless. Scroll of random uselessness, worthless. Scroll of fear, good item. It scares monsters away that are attacking you. Obviously there's no monsters here, but we still know what it is. Oh! Okay, I'm going to bet that this is identity. We're going to use it on the amulet. Crap. We just not doing great here. Enchant weapon. Curse weapon. That was a really boring batch of scrolls. You didn't get to see me do anything. Well, I guess onward through the dungeon. If you've picked up any... Well, if you've seen any weapons of draining or any cure darts, pick them up and drop them off in the temple. If you can't use them. Don't use weapons of draining, by the way. They're really strong on some monsters, but they reduce the amount of EXP you get per kill with it. So you don't want to use them frivolously. You don't want to kill everything in the game with them, because you will never get to max level. So I just drop items in the temple because I know that the monsters will never ever use them. It's a safe place to store nuclear weapons, basically. We're back to auto-exploring. Just get our way through here. Ooh, Sleeping Phantom. Oh. Well, as you saw, we did not kill the Phantom in one stab, which means we're behind the curve a little bit, unfortunately. That's okay, we'll catch up. Dodging's to 6, turn off dodging. Once stealth and hexes are to 6, we're going to start working on stabbing again. What happened with that Phantom is we didn't have enough stabbing skill to one shot up, so we want to get that back up pretty quick here. Just while I'm thinking about it, I don't know if anyone will care or even really notice. The music in the background though is Bach. Kind of like it. It's not legally, it's not gonna be a legal issue is why I used it, but I think the organ is also pretty cool for the game. There'll definitely be some parts later where it really fits. Once I get better at videos, I might cue it up a little better. Right now, I just threw on a CD and was like, that's much better than sitting here listening to me play Dungeon Crawl with no sound at all in the background. Okay, centaurs. They shoot arrows. They do a lot of damage when they shoot arrows, and when they get in melee, they just punch and kick. So just run up to them as quickly as possible. Kite them around corners if you have to. Just don't fight them at range, unless you're a super expert at that, I guess. Doing something that I'm not. Alright. Dodging, stealth, hexes, all the 6. Back to stabbing. Where you get that to about 12. And once it's at 12, oh, see, like right here. We're gonna pull this iguana into the corner. We're gonna fudge. We're gonna keep going around the corner because Edmund is here. He's a nasty little mace user. His mace can sometimes be enchanted with nasty little things. He's asleep. Kill him. Run up to the centaur, who's incredibly inaccurate, or we're either incredibly dodgy. So the reason I just did that movement like that was this eyeball over here. It can paralyze people by looking at it, which means by itself the eyeball is no danger at all. But combined with another enemy, like a centaur, you get paralyzed, and the centaur just beats the crap out of you, particularly if you're a Spriggan, because we don't reduce damage, we only have 3 armor. We try and dodge it. Alright, there we go. Keep stabbing the eyeball. It doesn't matter if it does its thing on us, we will kill it, because it can't hurt us. Heal back up and keep exploring. At this point, we've eliminated a lot of the more deadly potions from the batch. We already know what poison is, we know what the degeneration is. It's a little bit safer to use them just randomly. We haven't hit any of the really bad scrolls. There's a... So that was an imp, by the way. They teleport and they regenerate. We confused him, stabbed him, he died. That keeps him from being too annoying. But the scrolls, there's 2 in particular that we're scared of. We're scared of Scroll of Torment, which literally takes half your health when it's used. And we're scared of Scroll of Immolation, which blows up in your hands and does damage. So this is a jelly, right here. They are not super dangerous by themselves, but they're very annoying. Whenever you hit them with a weapon, it corrodes your weapon, and whenever they hit you, it corrodes your armor. It actually can make your armor go into the negatives. You can be wearing armor that makes you less resist, or like makes you take more damage. The thing to know about jellies, though, is they can eat items that are on the floor. So like if I didn't do anything about this jelly, he'd go eat this corpse, he'd eat that net. I'm not sure he eats gold, but if he might be able to. But every couple items they eat, they split into 2, like another jelly. And then those jellies will split, and they'll keep splitting, and then you'll have a lot of jellies. So we're gonna try and kill this jelly from kind of far away. Well, we're gonna put him to sleep from kind of far away, and then go up and stab him. Oh, what? Oh, in version 10, if you killed them while they were asleep, it didn't corrode your weapon. That sucks. Well, I guess my advice is to try and kill them from far away if you can, or keep a dagger for stabbing jellies. That's unfortunate. I guess I'm looking for a new dagger now, though, because now that dagger is pretty much base damage, which means I have no attachment to it. When it started, it was a +1/+1 dagger, which means it had +1 to accuracy and +1 to damage. It is now a +2/+0 dagger, so it has +2 to accuracy and +0 to damage, which daggers just don't do a lot of damage. If we right-click it, we'll see a brief description, I don't know, something to give it some flavor. We'll see that it has an insane accuracy rating and only 4 damage. Even multiplied 10-fold, that's, what, 40 damage? That's not all that significant. Again, I confuse all imps I see. I don't care about the hunger cost because they're so damn annoying. I can't say I've ever died to an imp, but I have been, like, annoyed to the point where other things kill me because I've been too busy dealing with the imp, or it follows me around and throws rocks at me, and just stupid stuff like that. I really hate imps. Giant frog. I want to point out that Spriggans are small, therefore the frog's even more giant. It's a massive frog. Then again, like, a normal frog would be kind of a giant, like, you know what I mean. Spriggans are really small. I just want to clarify. I don't know why I feel that's important. Onward to floor 7. Actually, I'm gonna use these scrolls real quick. Scroll blinking, really good. If you're in danger, you can blink away and hopefully it'll get you out. I'm not going to blink, however, because it does give you magic contamination and there's no reason to blink at this point. Ooh, 2 scrolls. I bet you they're identified now. Really betting they are. Yeah, there we go. Alright. So we know this is resist mutation, that's good. And we know that Ring of Ice, Cursed Ring. so we're gonna remove all the curses on us, and we're gonna use the Ring of Ice. Rings of Ice and Fire are kind of cool. They give you, well, Ring of Ice gives you +1 ice resist and -1 fire resist, but it makes all your ice spells more powerful. And if you recall, this spell makes people fall asleep by putting them into hibernation, but it does it by making them so cold that they have to hibernate. So it's an ice spell, so it'll make that more powerful and more effective, which is good because that's our favorite spell. Wow, that's a lot of monsters. Well, it's not so much that it's a lot, they're significant for where we're at. So I haven't done this yet in this video. If you're fighting monsters near or on stairs, you can actually divide groups of monsters, because monsters will only follow you if they're directly next to you when you're on the stairs. So what I did is I got that phantom next to me, pulled him up the stairs, and now he will have no help from any of those other monsters. I can just kill him at my leisure. Near starving, gonna eat, gonna get my mana back, and I'm gonna go down. Put this guy to sleep. Put this guy to sleep. Sky Beast corpses, you see how they have the little rainbow man? That means they're mutagenic, and if you cut them up and eat them, you will get mutations randomly. Spriggans are vegetarians though, so that's why you have not seen me eat any corpses this video. So I actually can't do that. But just for those of you who are playing not Spriggans, even though I highly recommend them, and you obviously care about my opinion a little bit, since you're watching this video. Another jelly. Let's see if it corrodes my weapon again. I'm really curious if that's... No, I guess it's not all the time. I know that they never corroded when they were asleep before, so that's annoying. Oh, wizard's dealing some damage. Throwing spells at me. What a jerk. Oh look, a mummy. Mummies are kinda dangerous at low levels, and I'd say we're still kinda low level. And when you kill them, you're destroying the mummy. You feel nervous. Your +1 robe glows black for a moment. Oh no, my robe's cursed now. Well, that's kinda... could be worse, right? I mean, I didn't plan on changing my clothes anytime soon. I guess you never really plan on changing anything in a rogue like the worst case scenario, you play the entire game and you never find anything. This guy will not fall asleep. No, it doesn't say he's unaffected, it says he's resisting. Yep, there we go. If it ever says someone's unaffected, they're probably resistant to cold, or you've put them to sleep recently. Because if you put someone to sleep and they wake up, they have immunity to your sleep for quite a while. I haven't figured out exactly how long, but it seems like it's an extremely significant amount of time. So this is one of my interface, or my favorite map layouts. It's literally just give you a big plus sign, so we know where everything is already. Okay, Dowen here. He travels in a group with his sister Diversa, and when you kill one of them, the other one gets like special effects. So if I kill Dowen first, Dursa is going to go into a Berserker Rage, and that makes her much stronger and much faster. Unfortunately for Dursa though, Berserker Rage on an elf isn't as fast as a Spriggan, so if I kill Dowen first, I can literally just outrun her until her Berserker Rage ends, and then she'll be exhausted and really weak and slow, and I can just kill her. See, there she is, little Berserker symbol. Look at her go. She's coming. Just run in circles for a little while. Oh, look at the little slowed symbol. She can barely move. She's resisting pretty well though. I'm gonna confuse her just to make sure she dies. Confusion, by the way guys, has a much higher rate of success as far as affecting people, and therefore in very dangerous situations better off confusing than putting them to sleep. Let's see, like I just cast hibernation 4 times on this snake. Let's confuse. Look, it worked 1 time. Ooh, we're just hitting all the cool guys this time. Pykel, he is a slaver, and he has slaves. No big concepts here. He is pretty dangerous because of his slaves mostly, but he also has a whip that can often be fire or lightning enchanted. So you wanna try and take him out, not with his slaves. But as you can see there, I just put him to sleep and stabbed him. Stabbing's up to 12. That's probably the highest we'll put it all game. We're gonna do spellcasting, hexing, dodging, and stealth again. Double clicking stealth to give the bonus. We're gonna get all these to 10. So you can see the slaves are now freed slaves. The freed slaves, they won't attack you, and they will attack everything on the dungeon floor. However, you don't get experience for what they attack. So I'm going to hit control and then click in the direction of each slave and attack them. They don't give you any EXP either, and they won't attack each other, but it's better than having them steal all the floor EXP, because they will go and beat things up in a big group. And I really like EXP. So we just killed all his slaves and him. Those poor people spent all of, well, it was like 100 turns, so, you know, they had a good run, right? They were free for a while. Jellies can eat doors, by the way, so you're not safe in a closed door if there's a jelly nearby, and they will multiply off doors, so just stuff to keep in mind. Excuse me. I wonder what was in there. I wonder what kind of skeleton that is. A human skeleton. Oh my god. He probably starved to death. So that's this floor. Onward to floor 8. With a potion. I kinda wanna drink these. Potion of slowing and potion of resistance. Oh, neither of those are very interesting. Wow, we are just getting all the really cool guys. Grum's a dog trainer. As you can see, he has attack hounds that are attacking me. So I'm gonna pull the hounds up the stairs without Grum. Grum has a spear, by the way, so he can reach over his hounds while they're fighting you and stab you. So if you get surrounded, you just die. So again, pull people into single file corridors and stuff like that. Be mindful though that Grum will attack over his dogs in single file corridors. He won't attack from like super far away, but like if there's a dog here, he can attack from here. So it's like fighting 2 people at once. If you're a really tough warrior, it shouldn't be a huge problem. With big hitters like the ogres and orcs, or bigger orcs and stuff like that, try and put them asleep from a square away, so they like with a square in between you, so they can't hit you, and then just walk in and stab them. It's much safer. I can't tell you how many times I've died to the hit while I'm walking, or like the hit after a missed hibernation. That's oh shit. Oh man, that guy Gastrock, odds are he won't die in 1 stab, and even better odds he will not fall asleep at all. He's really hard to lay spells on because he's highly spell resistant, and he has a ton of health. The cool thing though is his hat is almost always enchanted with plus intelligence. Either that or it's gonna be an artifact that makes you slower and gives you like better spellcasting and intelligence. In which case we won't use it because we don't want to be slower, but it's still cool. Oh look, the Orcish Mines. No, look, it's not connected, so I have to go past Gastrock to clear the dungeon. This sucks. I think you can see him. He can see invisible. He has ice stocks. Crap. Maybe I go invisible anyway. Okay, guys. The way the stabbing bonus works is it's your stabbing skill multiplied with your dex and capped at a certain point. I think for daggers, which is what we're using, it's 300. So 12 times 18, that's not 300, so I'm going to use this potion of agility. Okay, and then I'm going to use this potion of speed, and this potion of invisibility, and this potion of levitation. The potion of speed to get to Gastrock before he wakes up, hopefully. Levitation gives me a higher bonus for stealth, and so does invisibility, as does the agility. We're going to try and stab him before he wakes up. Oh, it almost killed him, but not quite. And he got confused. Yes! That was huge, and really kind of disappointing because you guys are really getting to the point where you're like, this guy has no idea what he's talking about when it comes to dangerous things. He just wrecks face. I'm being honest, guys, he's really dangerous, and I just got lucky. Again, that's a big part of Crawl. Oh look, a vault of guys, kobolds, that's what they're called. I'm still invisible, by the way, so yep. Don't worry, we get a spell to do this all the time. How fun is that? Closet full of monsters? Just stab them all. Ooh, glowing daggers. Remember my dagger got corroded? And I was like, I don't want this dagger no more. Well, here we go. Some magical daggers. Ooh, a dagger of pain. That's cool. Ooh, a dagger of holy wrath. That's even better. So, dagger of pain, it does bonus damage based on your necromancy. As you can see, I'm not a necromancer. The holy wrath one, though, always does bonus damage to undead monsters. I also want to point out that I didn't pick up the wizard hat before because I was levitating. Let's put on the wizard hat, though. Oh, it's disappointing. There's no intelligence on it. It's just a normal hat. It's purple, though, and it's a wizard hat. Looks cooler than my yellow hat. We'll use it. And we keep exploring. Trying to normal X there, or is that normal X? No, that's not normal X. That's Ashazrai. He's a god that likes slow stuff. Literally, like, you get bonuses the slower you move. He'd hate us as a Spriggan. He'd just be like, you're way too fast. Bouncing off the walls with your 0.6 move speed. That's 0.6, by the way, is like, it takes us 6/10 of a turn to move, whereas like normal move speed's 1. So we're pretty fast. There are very few things that match that move speed in this game. I honestly, other Spriggans, can't think of much. The Lemurian Hydra, a really big boss in the swamps, in water is as fast as you are. Maybe a little faster. Note that I sit in water. If you get out of water, he is really slow. Keep auto-exploring. As the skills get to 10, we're turning them off, by the way. A shop that sells scrolls. Nothing we really need. Let's just keep going. We're done exploring. Onward to floor 9.